Hey guys, Steve here from Scotch and Things, and as you see, this video I'll be posting here pretty soon. Getting my safe set up. Wanted to give you a chapter 2 on the Rock Island Armory 1911. I posted a video a while ago, should you buy a budget 1911? It kind of took a while, but that video's kind of taken off, and I'm surprised I get a lot of response from that video, and a lot of love for this gun out there. I'm finding I'm getting a lot of guys that message me and tell me how much they love their rock. And a lot of guys asking me what model it is, and I answer them the best. I mean, like I said, I'm not a 1911 expert by any means, but I'll show you the stuff here. It's a M1911A1. It's the Rock Standard full size. So I hope that answers some of the questions from the first video. We get a lot of other comments. Guys are upset that I called this a budget gun, and to me that's what it was. You know, spending $500 on a Glock, I don't call that budget, because that's normal. That's what they sell for. Maybe Glock is a budget when you look at some of the other striker fire guns that are either a little bit less, or like Smith & Wesson's a little bit more or a little bit less, like Smith & Wesson, and some of those are coming in under the Glock, or I think it's middle of the road. But for some reason I don't call that a budget gun, and maybe it is. But in the world of 1911s, as far as what I'm used to, the $400 that I got this thing for does seem like a budget. Budget to me is affordable, not cheap. I would have called it a cheap, or something along that lines if I meant cheap. But it's a budget gun. It hits a price point compared to some others. I was in the gun store, my local gun store, the other day, and they had R1, a Remington R1 for $750, a Colt, and I'm not sure which kind, for around $8 something, and then Kimbers go from $8 on up. So, and I know you can go, the sky's the limit on 1911s. Along with any custom gun, you can customize a Glock out through some of those other companies like Agency or Salient. Wilson Combat's doing them now, and you can get into the $1,000 range. But I know some 1911s get, when you're talking $4 or $5 grand, that's a lot of money. $1,000 is a lot of money to me. $500 is a lot of money to me. Any amount. I mean, I know as you get older and you make more, I think some people lose the concept of what used to be expensive. Like when I was little, $20 was a lot of money. $20 is still a lot to me for some reason. And that's just the price point I've always had in my head, where 20, 50, 100 on up, those are measurable marks of what something's worth. And $500 is, in the world of, while it's a lot of money, in the world of 1911s, it's not a lot of money. And I think this is a great deal for that. Do I still think it's a budget gun? Absolutely, because it's out there for budget-minded people. And even though you can afford, say, $1,000, $2,000 1911, this budget price point 1911, I think will hang with those to a certain point. I don't have any experience with those high dollar 1911s. Like I've said before, I've got a friend that's into Colt, so I've shot a lot of those, and my brother's into Kimbers, so I've shot a lot of those. And as far as I'm concerned, this hangs right with them. It's been a great gun. Like I said in the first video, it doesn't see a lot. I've had it almost 2 years now, and I'm finally at about 1,000 rounds through it. It doesn't get a lot of trigger time. I focus mostly on shooting my Glocks and shooting my carry guns. This is merely a fun range, not toy, because these aren't toys. This is just a fun range gun for me. It's very enjoyable to shoot. But to me, I wouldn't consider carrying this. Yeah, this I can defend myself and my family with this gun, but I wouldn't consider carrying this on my person as an EDC. For one thing, is it's got an external safety, and I don't want to deal with that. It's not a big gun. It's slim. It's nice and slim, and it fits good in my hand. It's the same size as my Glock 34 lengthwise. But for me, I carry a Glock 43, a Glock 26, or a Glock 19. My 43 has the same capacity as this gun. This is a 8+1 gun. I have a 7+1 mag, and I carry a 8-round mag when I carry that gun. When I carry my 26, I carry the 10 round in it, and I carry a Glock 17 mag with me. When I carry my Glock 19, I carry the 15 round mag plus one and a Glock 17 mag. And they don't have, external safeties and hammers, and maybe it's just because I'm not comfortable enough with this gun, but to me, I'm happy with the 9mm round. I'm happy with the Glocks for my carry guns. This is a range gun for me. Took it out, shot it today, and it's, I don't shoot this. I hadn't shot this in a couple months. Last time I took it out, I didn't even shoot it. I let my brother-in-law shoot it because he's in the process of trying to figure out what kind of handgun he wants to buy. And after today, I think, he shot all my Glocks last weekend, or today. A couple weeks ago, he shot a bunch of SIGs, and today he shot this, and I don't know if he's going to go with a Rock Island, per se, but I think he's set on the 1911 for his first handgun. And when I told him how much this was, he's definitely has the means to buy whatever he wants. He was looking at a $2,500 Kimber in 10mm, but when I told him how much this was, he was just blown away. So I think that's where people find the value in this gun, for the low cost, how nice of a gun it is. I've had a lot of questions on how it's been over the almost 2 years of ownership, and like I said, over 2 years, only putting 1,000 rounds through it, that's not a lot. Hope that the furnace noise isn't going to affect the volume. So I thought I was getting a lot of questions, and so I started kind of stockpiling different ammo. I bought some different, brass. All I'd fired through this was some Winchester white box before and some Freedom munitions. So over the past month, I've just been grabbing a box here, Federal. I got some Federal aluminum. One subscriber asked me, how's it handle steel? I didn't know. I'd never shot steel before, so I bought some Tula, and today that's all I shot through it. And this gun ran flawlessly through the first box of Tula until the very last magazine. It wasn't me that was shooting it. My brother-in-law was shooting it, shot one round, and it jammed. I thought, well, that's weird. I'm trying to teach him. He doesn't have the best grip yet on the gun. He's trying to teacup it and stuff like that, so I thought it was his grip. So I grabbed it from him, cleared the jam, cleared the malfunction, and shot the rest of the magazine through it just fine. Loaded it back up again, gave it back to him. First shot jam. I thought, okay, let's check your grip. Thumbs forward and not. Are you riding the slide stop? Jam, cleared it. Jammed again. I tried it then, and it jammed. Well, what was happening is it wasn't the the shot cartridge wasn't ejecting. It wasn't even coming out of the barrel. It was still in there. So you'd have to rack it back. I'd have to drop the magazine, rack the slide to get it to come out. I don't know if this is true or not. I've heard the steel ammo has a coating on it, and if guns, once they heat up, like in ARs and stuff, that I can't remember what they called it, what the coating is that they use on the case. And maybe this is just false, but that can heat up, and it can cause, in a hot gun, it can cause the case to stick in there. Or, like I said before, I've had this 2 years, shot at 1,000 rounds, and I haven't taken it apart and I haven't cleaned it yet. That could be the problem. So what I'm going to do, I mean, the gun, it's not the gun's fault, it's my fault for not cleaning it. I kind of wanted to see what it would take and how long it would take before I finally had a malfunction. Was it the gun because it's dirty? I did have a bore snake, and I was gonna run it through that and see if it would keep going, but it was starting to get dark out and cold, and we had some family stuff to do, so I'll worry about it later. I'll make this video with kind of an update on how this thing's been. Like I said, it could be the gun was getting hot and the shells were sticking because of whatever. I'm sorry, I can't, it's just slipping my mind for some reason. But I'd heard somewhere where that steel case stuff has some kind of coating on it, and you know, when the guns are getting hot, it can cause that coating to be kind of sticky. So that could be the problem. Not a real scientific test. What I will do is I might tear this thing apart and clean it and show you the teardown process in a different video, and then go out and run it some more, because what I've found is people are definitely interested in this gun. Everybody seems to love it, as do I. I absolutely love this gun. I'm thinking about buying another 1911 and looking at different Rock Island Armory options, because this has been such a good gun for me, and the overwhelming love that this thing seems to have. I don't know if you want to call it like a diamond in the rough, that some people overlook. What I kind of find in the 1911 crowd is people are kind of, I don't want to call them pretentious or snooty, but I feel that this gun gets overlooked because of the price point and because it's made in the Philippines. And to me, it hasn't been the point at all. I buy what I like, and I stick with what's good, and I'm fine sticking with budget guns, and that's budget 1911s, because this one's ran so well for me. So like I said, I finally started getting some malfunctions with this. Might be just because I've ran it so dirty. I'm not versed in these to know how long they can go. Like my Glocks, that wouldn't be a problem. For 1911s, it probably isn't. 1,000 rounds without cleaning over 2 years, that's probably an issue. Let me know if it is, or let me know if you've had trouble with steel ammo. Maybe it's the steel cased ammo that I was running through today. Like I said though, first box, 50 rounds, ran fine. Finally through the last box, so almost 100 rounds of steel ammo through this today. Finally, it started giving me some issues at the end. I just kind of wanted to give you an update and kind of go over some of the responses that I've gotten from the first video by calling this a budget gun, because a lot of people took offense to it. Do I still think it's a budget gun? Absolutely, just because of the price point. And that doesn't mean it's a cheap gun or a bad gun. I think it's an overlooked gun because of the price, compared to some other 1911s out there. And would I buy another one? Absolutely. Do I plan on buying another one? Absolutely. I still plan on, I'll leave this gun stock. Like I said, I want to get some different grips for it. These are just the kind of cheap rubber ones that came with it. I like how it shoots, uh, and I'm gonna keep doing more and more videos with this guy. Like I said, it's not my main focus. I know I can shoot it well, and I know it does shoot well. I'm comfortable shooting it, but it's just not my area of, say, expertise. Not that I'm an expert on Glocks. I just enjoy shooting them more because that's what I carry, and I compete with Glocks. Um, I don't think I'd ever compete with this because I know those guys that have those 1911s are basically custom race guns. Those guys are those guns are pretty badass. Um, I do think that's where those do step up, and I'm not willing to put that kind of money into a 1911. For the kind of money that those guys put in guns, I could buy a whole bunch of these and a whole bunch of more Glocks and a whole bunch of other things. Ammo. So I know this was kind of just a rambling video. I just want to kind of give an update, um, like a chapter 2 on that from my first one, where people really kind of took offense to me calling this a budget gun. Um, just want to say again, it is a budget gun because of the price point it comes in at, and it doesn't mean it's cheap, and it doesn't mean it's junk. It's a great gun, and I think from the response of people, they know it's a great gun and kind of maybe a hidden gem because of the price point. If you put $1,000 price tag on this, I think more people, not just owners, but other 1911 aficionados, I think would look at this differently if it had $1,000 price tag on it. I think then they would consider it to be equal to others. Because it has a $500 price tag, I think some of those guys, not me, not owners of the Rock Island, but other more experienced 1911 owners than myself, look down on it because of the $500 price point. And I think that's don't get me wrong. I think that's bad on their part, um, because they're not giving it a chance because of the price point. But that's all I have for now. Still a great gun. I know I had some malfunctions with it, but I'm blaming that on myself for not cleaning it. I could have ran it dry. Probably did. Like I said, I don't know how these things are supposed to run or how often you're supposed to clean them. Could I do research? Yeah, I just wanted to kind of do my own little uh, research project and see how long it would go before it gave me trouble. Well, about 1,000 rounds and about 100 rounds of steel. Um, but I'm going to go back to shooting the steel through it in case it keeps giving me problems because it is pretty cheap. So, alright guys, I'll talk to you later. Hope you liked the video. Look for more videos with this gun because I do truly enjoy shooting it, and it's kind of for me, since it's outside of my comfort zone of what I'm used to shooting, it's kind of like a fun research project seeing what it's capable of doing and what it'll shoot and how long it goes before it needs cleaning and stuff like that. So, alright guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.